Everybody, it's Tina with Breastfeeding Myths Part 8 today, covering 3 more breastfeeding myths. And our first myth for today is that um, if baby is wanting to be at the breast often, that is indicative that baby is not getting enough. That is not true. Babies who breastfeed do breastfeed often. So um, it's not indicative that you don't have enough milk. Breastfeeding is the law of supply and demand. And I know I've talked about this a little bit before, but I hear this a lot. Um, you know, yes, breastfed babies usually eat every 2 to 3 hours, but that's not always the case. Sometimes babies cluster feed and they want to be at the breast almost constantly. They could be going through a growth spurt and want to eat a lot. Lots of times babies are fussy at the breast and cry, and moms worry that that's an indication that baby's not getting enough. Hang in there, comfort baby. Don't try to latch a baby who's screaming. Try to comfort the baby and calm him down a little bit. But the more you breastfeed, if baby's got a good latch and transferring milk, the more you breastfeed, the more your body makes. And that's why babies breastfeed so often, to tell your body to make more milk. As soon as you try to top baby off with formula, that is going to affect your milk supply. So baby wanting to be at the breast often is not indicative that that they're not getting enough milk. As long as they're gaining weight and putting out diapers, um, that's what you need to look for. So that's our first myth. And I know we kind of talked about that a little bit, but I wanted to touch on that again. Breastfeeding myth number 2 is that breastfeeding changes the size or shape of your breasts in a permanent way. So obviously, some women, when they get engorged, their breasts definitely change size and shape. But pregnancy, in and of itself, weight gain and the hormones associated with pregnancy can affect your breasts. But it's not breastfeeding. If you hear women say, I don't want to breastfeed, I don't want my breasts to droop, what have you, after. It's not breastfeeding that does that. And as a matter of fact, breastfeeding is good for your breasts because women who breastfeed have a lower chance of getting breast cancer. So, and then the third myth that we're going to talk about today is that you can somehow prep your nipples for breastfeeding. Not only do you not want to do that, but it's not going to help you. If you get calloused or cracked or bleeding nipples during breastfeeding, that's because of baby's latch, and you need to get that addressed. Sometimes it can be caused a bad latch from a lip tie or a tongue tie or just a learning experience. Sometimes it takes a little while to learn to latch. But there's nothing that you need to do during pregnancy to prep your nipples for breastfeeding. So that's our 3 myths for today. Number 1, that if baby is at the breast often and kind of fussy at the breast, that means they're not getting enough. That's not necessarily true. Let baby nurse as often as possible, and that's what's supposed to happen. The more they breastfeed, the more milk you'll make. Um, and breastfeeding myth number 2 is that it's going to change breastfeeding in and of itself will change the size or shape of your breasts. Not true, so don't worry about that. And breastfeeding myth number 3 is that you should prep your nipples during pregnancy for breastfeeding. No need at all to do that. Not going to help you at all during breastfeeding. Just make sure baby has a good latch. So those are our 3 myths for today. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to post or call or text me if you're my client and you need some support or you have a question. Don't hesitate to contact me. And I hope you are all having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.